This is basically a short presentation about the findings of the Arab Advisors Group in terms of the infrastructure and the payment systems in the Arab world. We'll start by looking at the basics, at the infrastructure. You can see here the total fixed broadband accounts in the Arab world by end of 2014. Basically, if you look at the penetration levels, you can see that the GCC countries lead the Arab region because of many reasons, mainly the high income levels, the high investments in these markets. So we can see broadband account penetration up to 19% in Kuwait, 13% or around 14% in Bahrain, and it goes down to very low levels in countries such as Sudan, Mauritania. Now, of course, keep in mind that these are broadband accounts, not users. Of course, each broadband account can be used by multiple users depending on the type of it. So the user penetration of internet is actually higher in these markets. Second up is the cellular penetration rate. This is also by year-end 2014. Again, the GCC countries lead the region in terms of the penetration levels. We can see that the cellular penetration levels are pretty high in the region. Qatar leads the way with around 188% penetration, followed by the UAE, Kuwait, Bahrain, surprisingly Libya, and then Jordan comes somewhere in the middle with 166% penetration level by end of 2014. Basically, the enabler of all technologies, of all payment systems is the availability of the internet infrastructure, regardless of whether it is fixed broadband or mobile broadband. This graph here shows the mobile broadband availability in the Arab world. Basically, it's available by mobile broadband. We're talking about 3G networks. 3G networks are now available in 17 countries around the Arab world, every single Arab country except for Palestine and Yemen. Okay, and regarding LTE networks, which basically pave the way for richer and more sophisticated solutions and applications, LTE is basically a higher speed mobile broadband. So if we have a look at the availability of the LTE networks, they are available in Jordan. They have been launched recently. They are available in Lebanon, Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Oman, and Algeria. Okay, due to the availability of the infrastructure here in the region, we are witnessing a change in the payment methods that we have here in the region. We have things that start from mobile money to electronic bill presentment and payment systems. We also have, in some countries, bill payment kiosks, which are not as advanced as other solutions, in addition to, of course, the conventional online payment methods through PayPal or credit cards or any similar methods. Having a look at the adoption, the actual adoption of e-payments in the region. These are findings from a survey we did in Jordan in 2015, this year. It's very recent. The survey was with smartphone users. Okay, the part of the survey findings showed that around 45% of smartphone users who buy products online reported using e-commerce services only. By e-commerce, we mean we separated e-commerce or people who buy from a computer and people who buy using their mobile handset. So 45% of smartphone users who buy products online prefer to only buy through a computer. They don't use their mobile phone to actually buy anything online. 35%, on the other hand, of these users, these smartphone users, buy through their mobile only. They do the shopping only on their mobile handsets without any shopping through their computers. And of course, there's a percentage of 20%, as you can see, which buy both through a computer and a mobile handset. Okay, so what do people buy? People who buy using e-commerce or using a computer reported buying clothes the most. 53% of people who buy through e-commerce reported shopping for clothes online. followed by electronics, then cosmetics and accessories. Hotel reservations came next, and then the other things. The least common thing to purchase online was basically furniture and houseware and DVDs and CDs. Having a look at the m-commerce through the mobile phone, it's very similar basically. Clothes led the way, 52.9%, almost 53% of the users reported buying clothes online, followed by electronics also, then cosmetics and accessories. It's nearly the same ranking of the categories of which they buy. Okay, we also did a survey of internet users in Oman. Okay, it was a survey of internet and e-commerce usage patterns in Oman. In Oman, the case is different here than here in Jordan. Basically, people here in Jordan are still a little bit wary of using their credit cards online. In Oman, it's a little bit different. 82.9% of internet users reported using their credit card to buy online. Okay, now of course these are people who are already e-commerce users. So credit cards are actually a bit common in Oman. Credit cards were followed by bank account transfers, but of course followed very remotely, as you can see, because there's no, or by the time we conducted the survey, there was no real alternative to paying online than the credit cards. Okay, having a look at the payment systems, of course, this has been discussed a lot in this conference. We are witnessing advanced solutions in the Arab world, such as eFawatircom in Jordan, eDirham in the UAE, Sadad in Saudi Arabia, and FaturaNet in Tunisia. Okay, these are advanced payment systems that basically connect all the billers and all the banks together so that the consumer actually doesn't have to go separately into each and every bank or each and every biller. They have to go to only one place and they can access their bills and pay them so easily. Having a look at the other payment methods that are available, in Oman and Bahrain they have payment kiosks. Okay, basically these are physical kiosks. They are located in public areas, in malls and such areas around the two countries. And they allow for the payment of governmental and some private services. Okay, now by April 2015, these kiosks in the two countries actually accepted only cash. You have to go to the kiosk and actually pay cash, insert cash into the machine to pay your bills. Okay, now having a look at the mobile money, this graph shows the availability of mobile money solutions around the world. We have solutions in Jordan, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, in Egypt, Sudan, Algeria, Morocco. Basically, things are picking up for mobile money in the region. Operators are basically leveraging the high adoption of cellular services and providing mobile money services to their clients. Now, this model was basically the most successful in Africa, as people in Africa are mainly unbanked. The percentage of unbanked people in the African markets is much higher than anywhere else around the world. So the success story of mobile money is actually Africa, the African markets. Arab markets are a little bit similar. Okay, we are a little bit banked more than Africa, but we still lag behind other developed countries when it comes to banking. Okay, so as I mentioned, this is a very short presentation. This concludes my presentation. If you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Okay, any questions? Okay, so we have a question there.
Thank you. Thanks for the presentation. Alban Luan from Orange Group. You said that the mobile money has exploded in Africa, mainly in Africa, because the bankarization rate was lower than anywhere in the world, which is true. But on the other side, we saw this morning that in Jordan, for instance, the bankarization rate was only, I would say, 25%, which is not so different compared to some places in Africa. So what do you think are the main reasons why mobile money has not yet taken over in Jordan?
Okay, it basically depends on the culture in the country itself. As it has been discussed throughout this conference, people here and in the Arab region in general still prefer cash for some reason. They just feel that cash is more of a secure method to pay. They are not used to paying in any other method except for cash. As one of the speakers mentioned, some people actually withdraw their whole account when they get their paycheck and actually keep the money as cash with them instead of keeping it at the bank and actually paying by Visa or by a debit card. So I believe it's mainly up to the culture of the people here. People are still not used to the concept. Okay, any further questions? We have a question from the gentleman.
I just want to comment on the mobile money. Where can I use it? It's not the culture, it's the acceptance. It's about marketing campaigns. Is it usable or not? It's not only the culture. Okay, we are in the industry and we don't have much information about mobile money or where can I use it. Okay.
Definitely. It comes from both ways. The demand from the customers themselves and also the marketing campaigns and from actual vendors pushing for mobile money. But it's basically when there's no demand in the market, no vendor will actually push it in their outlets or whatever. So it's basically like a cycle, a never-ending cycle. Okay, any further questions from the audience? Okay, so that concludes our conference. I would like to thank you all for coming. Thank you all for your support. I would like to thank our sponsors, our supporters, and we hope to see you in our upcoming events. Thank you so much.